All right, good morning. We are
Okay.
live.
We're live.
We are live here with Acos for Autism. Good morning to everybody. I hope you guys had an amazing Easter weekend. I hope we all had a great, blessed holiday Easter weekend, man. How are you doing, Momo? Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I kind of surprised Mo there. I was like, hey, we're just gonna go ahead and do the dang thing. We're gonna
You're
pop in
getting
here.
faster at setting up, so
Yeah.
that's what threw me off probably.
Yeah,
It's,
I know.
oh,
It's
he's done. All right.
it's great. We just gotta rock and roll and do the dang thing. You know what I mean? Actually, let's check and make sure
What?
we're actually live
No,
here
I
real
got the
quick. Okay, cool.
notifications.
Then we are good to
Yeah.
go. All right. So crazy weekend. We had
It's
some
busy.
amazing week with Campanias was awesome. We had so much fun there. We had so many great people come show up and show out, and
Yeah. I
we had
was
a big
excited to hear
turnout.
about the to-go orders too. That
Oh
was
yeah,
exciting.
yeah. Well, that's the cool part is that you called in support and did all the fun things. So it was a really good, fun, successful week, and we got a lot of big announcements
And
coming
House of
up.
Kebab was at House Kebab on
Yeah, on
Monday
Monday.
too.
Yeah, House of Kebab on Monday.
It's all a
It's all a
blur.
blur.
But
It's a
it's
lot of
so
fun.
good. It's
Yes,
so good.
it's so good. But what's not good is a couple of the reactions that we got to see from this weekend, and I'm struggling.
Uh
I'm having a hard time, understanding where people stand. You know what I mean?
it was
Like
really heartbreaking to see.
on RFK, with people thinking that RFK is being insensitive.
Hmm.
And I just want to say something really quick. Like I feel like both sides of this, we all have the same mission.
I
Like
thought
that,
we were all on the same
we're on
team.
the same team. The difference is that my son was not born this way. I want people to stop and and just take a minute and think. Okay,
Right.
when RFK said that 25% of adult autism is severe, right? That
Mhm.
think about the time frame. So when they've had most likely autism for their whole life for the most part.
That would be
This was
correct.
20, 30 years ago when autism was 1 in 330,000, right? Whatever that was.
Yeah, 10,000, 100,000, whatever the number was. It was
So
not 1 in
so
30.
now we're 1 in 30, 1 in 20.
Uh-huh.
And now we're at 25% of those cases are severe autism and also caused by environmental cases, which means caused by vaccines.
Mhm.
And I want people to stop and think, okay, well, hold on here. Just because my son has autism and wasn't affected by the vaccines doesn't mean that this person's kid has autism and wasn't affected by the
It
vaccines.
goes back to the fact of like you meet one person with autism, that's one person with
Yeah.
autism. Where one person with autism, how it manifested, whatever, is going to be different with every case.
Yeah.
Now, can they still have the same common factors? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But could one be a bigger contributor than the other? Yes. But we have to stop not even taking into consideration that there are environmental factors when
Yeah.
it comes to autism. It's not solely genetic.
Well, that's what people see. They're turning this into something political. They're taking a
Exactly.
higher source of media and they're saying, "Oh, shame on RFK.
How
Shame on how
dare
dare he
you?
is."
Yeah.
You guys are still being insensitive.
Well, and if
You're
you
being
even
insensitive to the parents that had to watch their child get sick. You're
Mhm.
being insensitive to the families that were gaslit and manipulated in this new modern age of vaccines when they're giving 5-in-1 like my son and turning and making them super sick and then creating this autism. Again, my son was not born with autism. People do not want to admit that.
Right.
That is the place to start. Okay, let's open up our eyes and our hearts and our souls to say, okay, yes, vaccines can cause autism. Antibiotics can cause autism. Okay, environmental
Combination of
combination,
all
food,
those
processed
things.
food,
Yeah.
all of these things that were put, it could cause autism.
Period.
Period. Okay, just because it didn't for your son or your daughter doesn't mean it didn't for mine.
And if your son or your daughter got all the vaccines and is completely quote unquote normal, congratulations.
Yes, and and
That
and
doesn't mean that goes across the
And
board for
most of the
every single
people that
child.
are shaming RFK don't even have a child that's autistic or on the spectrum. Most of the people that are gaslighting these other people don't even have the wherewithal of how to deal with severe autism.
And that's where I know that our family is 100% blessed with our
Yeah.
son because yes, he is autistic. Yes, he has certain things that we have to, stay strict to and
Yeah.
whatnot. But at the end of the day, my son will eat fruits and vegetables. My son will sleep a full night. My son can, I mean, I will help him still, but he can get in the shower on his own. He can
Yeah.
brush his teeth on. I mean, he
Amen.
can dress but that doesn't mean that I can't have an open mind to not everyone else's day is like mine. Like
Yeah. My
that's
day
like
is not
me
like yours.
saying that that's like
Yeah.
me saying that every other autism family is
Yeah.
just like mine.
Yeah.
No, that's not the
Yeah.
case.
Correct.
And that's where it's like,
Eh,
if you don't have a child with autism
yeah.
and you have no understanding whatsoever, then how are you coming in with such a closed mind?
Well, the reason why they're coming with a closed mind is A, they've been manipulated for so long by the mainstream media and big pharma and their own pediatricians
Mhm.
to think that these vaccines are safe and effective. So, God forbid something actually happen
Well, and
to
I
these
was
kids.
too.
And so, part B is these parents refuse to admit that these vaccines caused their kids autism
Mhm.
because of the guilt that comes with that.
Mhm.
And I know firsthand how bad that is.
Right.
I take accountability for allowing 5-in-1
Right.
vaccines to happen to my son.
Right.
I don't want that to happen to any other parents. So when someone tells me that I'm being insensitive to a child with autism, you don't even understand. My
Right.
son can't go to the bathroom by himself. He is
Right.
still in diapers.
Mhm.
Okay, my son was vaccine injured. There's zero question. He was not born with this. So how do you why can't we just all be actually really inclusive together? Because all these people
That
that don't
part.
understand
That part.
my severe autism, which I promise you is more millions of more families than any others, and
Right.
I'm watching it happen with my own eyes, and I'm just trying to help my son. I don't. My son's soul is the most beautiful soul you'll ever meet in your life. He is the sweetest little boy in the whole world. He is an angel from God that is showing me
Mhm.
all kinds of lessons
Yeah.
and teaching me so much stuff that no one has ever taught me.
Yep.
But he's also giving me the ability to fight and advocate for other babies that have also been vaccine injured, that have also been crucified by something put in their body, not by their own regard. Now,
Mhm.
that's what people need to embrace, that it's not just something that was just born or genetic. There's also millions of other families that watch this happen, and you're not including us.
Right.
Stop not including the people, the millions of families that watch their sons get sick and watch their
Mhm.
sons' lights go off. Start including me.
Yeah.
Stop telling me and my wife that no, you guys aren't a part of this. You guys should embrace your son's autism. Why? So I can embrace my son being in pain and in torture and in brain inflammation? You want me
Yeah.
to accept that?
And I think one a big quote in the autism community is like, I am his voice.
Yes.
I am his voice if you fit in this box. Well, if you haven't learned by now, we are not in that box. We are ripping the box apart. And that is where I feel like real change happens, is when people don't stop fighting
Yeah.
for the change that has to happen. And at the end of
And
the day, like, you are Kipton's voice.
yes.
And that is why
Yeah.
you are so passionate. And that is
Yeah.
why you fight so hard for your son, because
Because I want him to be healthy. I want him to be happy.
mhm,
And I want to hear the words, I love you, Daddy, just one time.
you're going
And I'm
to.
going to fight until I hear that.
You're going
And
to.
and this is what the other people that want to subjugate me to humiliation and embarrassment and to oh, you shame on you, to you're not good enough. Like
Mhm.
why are you on your high horse? Why do you need to be on a high horse? Come back down to reality with me. And why don't you walk a day in my shoes, to where sometimes I have to be careful that my son might sneak out of the house or get out of the house, or he might wipe his feces over the wall,
Right.
or he might be struggling so
Right.
that he cuts himself because he scratches himself so bad. You want to tell me that they're not in torment?
Right.
Why don't people want to help that? Stop chastising us for wanting to help our babies get better and get healthier.
And
Be-
research and
yes.
research and research
And
as to
stop gaslighting and
why.
manipulating us with
Yeah.
politics and all
Right.
these greater things. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. This is real. Vaccine injury is real. And the sooner that everyone can accept it, we can all start healing our babies and having places like mine and facilities like mine actually help progress these babies.
We're ready for it.
We're
Yeah,
here. Why
we're
don't
ready
you
for
want
it.
that? Why don't you
Mhm.
want to help your babies get better rather than diagnosing them with behavioral disorders that has been going on for 30 years, where now it's 1 in 20 and there's
Right.
only certain common denominators of that being?
Right.
Wake up.
It's time for a change. It's time for us to do something different, because we've been doing the same things over and over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and over. And for some children that helps, like my son, ABA did help him.
Yes.
Speech helped him, OT helped him, but like the tablet also helped him. TV and movies also helped
Yeah.
him. I mean, there's so many things out there, but at the same time, he is still damaged
Yeah.
inside. And that's why these treatments that we provide here, they provide him so much relief. Like, the fact that he doesn't want to
And
stop
let me
these
be clear, it
treatments,
is
like,
okay to say damaged, because it
right,
is a substance and a source out of their own birthed body
Right.
that affects them and does damage internally.
Mhm.
That is the truth about when you say damaged.
Mhm.
Yes, these vaccines or these external sources that was not there at birth
Right.
was put into their body to formulate some sort of damage. That's what
Mhm.
vaccines are made for, to create chaos and fear, to create
Absolutely.
antibodies. And so these are going through these babies' bodies, all these crazy ingredients that could actually literally make them very, 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 very
Mhm.
sick.
They do make them
And they
very,
do
very
them very,
sick.
very sick regardless, and some death.
Yeah. Right.
But like the fact of the matter is, that's the truth of the situation. Do not take that away from parents
And if
and
you
start admitting it, because the reason why no one wants to admit it, because yes, lawsuits, torts, which yes, these are all going to happen. These are all coming. People want to ask about doctors. Someone said a very great question. How do I approach my doctor? Very simple. You ask them for facts.
Mhm.
You ask your doctor for truth, and you ask them, okay, well, what are the connections to autism? And if they give you a runaround answer, then run, because
And
that's
it
the
yeah.
problem. I'm gonna tell you right now. I want to name my pediatrician who gave my son the vaccine so badly, but I'm not going to do that yet, because I'm going to come to him and I'm going to approach him and I'm going to let him know that yes, the vaccines you gave my son made him sick. And we
Mhm.
asked you specifically about autism, and you still said no, it's okay. You can take all these 5 at once. It's going to be safe and effective. And it was not. And the next day he got super sick. And when we came back and asked him about it, he said, no, there's no way that that could be from the vaccines. Well, he was wrong. I'm going to give him the chance to be honest. And I'm going to give him the chance to come clean about it, just like all these other pediatricians really start needing to do.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, they're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that have told us all that it's safe and effective. And they're the ones that have watched it happen over the course of 10, 20 years. They know.
That's why so many physicians have walked away.
Yes.
Maybe not
And
in
they're
California,
not in California yet,
but
because look at the mandatory vaccine rate.
right,
Again, it's all about money.
but
But at the end of the
there's
day, a lot of
vaccines,
amazing
yep,
pediatricians
that couldn't
stepping
do it
up,
anymore.
can't do it anymore, saying
Mhm.
we can't do this to our babies.
Yeah.
Those are the pediatricians you need to find that are going to be honest. And I hope someday that when I face my pediatrician face to face, because he knows who he is, that he is honest and he does the right thing. I really hope that he does. So I'm going to leave that alone there, because it's a very
Mhm.
sensitive subject for me.
And make sure when you do your paperwork at the doctor's office, you
Yeah.
know, that yearly paperwork you have to do, make sure you read through everything because
Yeah.
um they could easily sneak in a
Yeah.
vaccine. What's the word I'm looking?
Oh, did they add like multiple vaccines, the catch up thing, and all the other
Oh
stuff too?
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um
We actually have the paper right here. FYI, we have the paper that literally tells us
strongly
this.
believe in the importance of fully vaccinating our patients based
Yeah.
on the CDC recommendations, and all of our providers adhere
Yeah.
to the immunization schedule provided by CDC.
That's crazy.
If you choose to not vaccinate, we kindly request that you inform us prior to seeing a physician, which I did.
And yes.
And I also communicated with my doctor, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't even know, what are we signing?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were doing that."
Kipton, check this out. My nonverbal son, right? He split his lip open about a few
Oh
months
my
back,
gosh, that was awful.
right? And we didn't know what to do, because he's trying to grab it. He doesn't know any better. We can't
Yeah,
communicate with them.
right. And their pain
worst
tolerance
worst moment
is
ever comes to life, right? And my wife's out at dinner on a
insane.
business meeting, and I'm at home with the babies.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the heck, dude? So he splits his lip open, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I'm
right.
like, I call the ambulance. We get that all taken care of. This is like autism's biggest fear.
Mhm.
Okay,
Major
so
injury
lips
happening, yeah.
bust open. I finally got him to come down. Wife gets home. She gets him to the ER, or she tries to. We stop it at literally 3 urgent centers, all refusing to treat him because of his autism, because they would have to put him under gas, because they can't stitch him up without calming him down,
Right.
because he can't communicate.
Yeah.
He doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
So nightmares get worse. Now we have to go to Valley Children's, which has an 8-hour wait, and they end up putting my wife and my son into a side room, right, with like nobody
Which
else.
that's what George's pass is supposed to be.
Yeah, but they were in a crazy hallway,
Oh yeah.
isolated from everybody else. My son's rolling over the floor. He's in pain.
Oh
They
my
were there. They were there
gosh.
for like 5, 6 hours. Okay. There's no care. There's no special care for autism. And here's the crazy part. If Kip didn't have an exemption because of his autism, because he doesn't have any more of the COVID vaccines or anything, he
Right.
wouldn't have gotten to being able to get treated or seen. You talk about mandatory vaccines. That's crazy to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like forcing these poisons into our babies' bodies and doing these types of things is absolutely tragic. And then watching them get sick, watching our babies get hurt, vaccine injured, and then being manipulated and gaslight like it didn't happen. Right? Oh no, that vaccines that couldn't cause that. That could never happen. Absolutely not. Well, it does, and it did, and it does to millions of other families. And we need to start acknowledging that.
And I
So that comments
guarantee
like RFK's comments don't seem insensitive because to me, we finally have someone that's stepping up for us. It's
somebody.
finally speaking truth because we need that inclusivity too.
And what is so wrong with that? What is so wrong with cleaning house?
Yes.
Being like, "Hey,
Yes.
what how much money are you getting over here?
Yeah.
And how are you getting that
Yeah.
money? Oh, hold on a second. There's another connection over here." Like,
What's so
we are
wrong with asking
cleaning.
questions?
Yeah.
What's so wrong with getting appropriate answers for our
Mhm.
babies? What is so wrong with advocating for our kids that have been damaged by vaccines? Yes, damaged by vaccines. Please accept that. Please be inclusive to me and the millions of other families around here that have had their babies vaccine injured and watched their lights go off and have to struggle with that every day. That no, their kids aren't going to be able to play sports. They're not going to have lovely, amazing marriages or relationships.
Right.
They're not going to be able to do the normal things that your kids get to do unless we do something about it, unless we own up to it, admit that yes, vaccines hurt our babies, and so we need to help these families.
And I
Help
think
us instead of ridiculing us and humiliating us. Stop with this. Stop gaslighting us and telling us that no, vaccines could never have hurt your babies. Yes, they do and they have. Stop with that so we can move forward and get the help that we need so sinners like mine can flourish and thrive and we can help our community. What is wrong with people? I'm sorry, but my God,
Mhm.
stop. You want to be inclusive and real? Be inclusive. All you have to do is say, yes, vaccines can cause autism.
Or even then, just stop gaslighting the fact that when we do say that, like, "Hey, this is what happened to my son," and you say, "No, that could have never happened. It's been proven. It's been proven." By what?
Yes.
By what
Yeah.
studies?
Sad.
It's just and that's where it's like the blinders are on, and
Yeah.
we're trying to help you take them off and
Yeah.
just be open to it a little bit.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to touch on too when RFK was saying that we need to stop autism,
Yeah.
and that was
This is
taken
okay.
really, really, really negatively as well.
Yeah.
Um, I think at the end of the day, if you have listened to anything that RFK or read anything that he has done in the past, he was the one that mothers were coming to
Yeah.
when he was working in the environmental space and with all the rivers and conservation and the mercury that was in there and everything. Mothers were coming to him back
Yeah.
then, begging him, look at this,
Look at
look at
Jenny
this, look at
McCarthy.
this,
Look
look
at
at
the
this, look
pioneers
at
that have been
this.
doing this for so long and they got gaslit, buried.
Right.
Jenny McCarthy was a pioneer of this stuff, dude, and she got crucified.
Mm-hmm.
She got hung on that cross.
Yeah.
And that's why I knew that when I started being vocal, I was ready to die on that
Right.
cross too, and I still am. And I was right.
But
And we were all right.
the numbers are increasing every single year. So that is what, and my aspect of like what RFK is saying is like, we have to stop autism before it's 1 and 2,
Correct.
before it's,
Before it's 1-1?
before it's every
It
single
can't be
child.
one on
Like
one,
it
which is
just,
really cool because so many people are actually finally stopping to do the
right.
vaccinations
Right.
until we get answers. And that is honestly like that's the right thing to do. Stop.
And in the meantime, do your
Yes.
research
Do
on
your
it.
research on it. Like again, we are not anti-vax. We are anti-poison. We are anti-bullshit.
And at the same time, I know I'm fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Are you fully vaccinated?
Not anymore. No, not anymore. I mean,
Well,
as a
okay, not
kid,
anymore. Yes,
as a
as a
kid,
kid,
on
yes.
my schedule with my 7 or 8 vaccines,
Right.
yes.
And that is where we come up, okay, we have our own children. This
Yeah.
is what we do. This is what you're supposed to do
Yeah.
until injuries happen and until like, wait, hold on. Why does my son have 104 fever? He just
Yeah.
got the shot. Those are the questions that start coming up and then you start doing the research on your own and you're like, hold up. Hold up,
Yeah.
hold up. If you knew that your son could have a peanut allergy, would you still provide him peanuts?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the crazy part, but people will still continue to vaccinate after seeing their kids get sicker and sicker per vaccination.
yeah. It's
And then
just
but
doing
they
research.
don't want to attribute that to the vaccine. So they just think it's okay and then go back to more doctors, more visits, more money, more
Mhm.
vaccines, more antibiotics, more pills, more poisons.
Parents
Do you
have more
see the
rights than
process
they
here?
think. Yeah.
Parents can cure. And if you still are out there, and I don't care how insensitive you think this sounds, measles are not going to kill you. Okay? Let's stop. Let's stop the narrative that you think that these other diseases and infections can kill you. Measles cannot kill you. Okay? Vitamin A, vitamin. There's so many things that naturally heal that. Are there unfortunate circumstances? Yes, but in the past 5 years, no, there has not been. That's crazy. The numbers zero. Past since 2020, and since 2020 is when all these vaccines started getting really bad.
Mhm.
So we're going to leave it at that for the show today for the passion, because that's what we like to bring. We like to bring the fire. We like to question, ask the right questions, because the questions that we as parents have deserve the right answers, and our babies deserve the protection.
Yeah.
So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the comments and the questions. We want to answer all the questions that we can. We want to be here for you guys, be here for our families, and just know that we are a safe place for all of our families, inclusive, entirely. We want all of our babies, all of our adults, all of our kids, anyone that has or is infected by autism, whether or not their story is same, aligned, different, whatever.
Absolutely.
We want to be
Still
here
come
for
have a
everybody.
conversation.
Yes.
We're not gonna shun you or how
Yes.
dare you or
Yes.
anything like that. We're not about shaming. We're about open conversation. We're about
100%.
us listening to you, you listening to us, and it not even being a debate. Like,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we're on the same team.
100%.
We're on the same team. This is not supposed to tear us
Yeah,
apart.
just
And
remember
that's
the mainstream media and the higher powers with it, they're trying to tear us apart. They're
absolutely
making you think that RFK is literally degrading autism when he's actually not for millions of families. The majority of autism, think about it. Again, the numbers. You've got the numbers from back in the day, in the 80s, where now these kids with autism are adults, where it's a very small percentage, where the now new severe autism, which is 1 in 20, 1 in 30, approaching 1 in 4 boys in California, by the way. That's a much higher number of severe autism. So remember, when people say damage, it's because of the vaccines and the pills and the potions and the things that have actually damaged the insides of our babies. It's not our babies that are damaged. You need to be smarter than that and not let people manipulate you and gaslight you into thinking that it's all one thing and it's all one-sided,
it's
because
not all or not. It's
yeah,
not one or nothing.
no,
It's not. No, there's so
it's
many
a massive
factors. Yeah.
spectrum, massive causes, massive everything.
Mhm.
Just pray about it. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, think about it. Think logically. Open your eyes, open your heart, and see the truth of the situation. And that know that, yes, millions of families have been
Adversely affected. Yeah.
adversely affected by vaccine injuries, and of course, tons of environmental factors. So please keep an open mind to that, and make sure that you know you don't outcast the other entire population, right? Because we're all in the same. We're supposed to be on the same team here.
Yeah.
That's it. Same. We're
Speaking
supposed to be on
of
the same team.
speaking of teamwork,
Yeah.
this Thursday, April 24th,
Boom. Yes. Let's go.
we have our end of the month shebang at Posh Panache
Yes.
Boutique, from 4 to 7.
Posh, man. I'm super. This is gonna be a
Oh,
fun event here. Fun in person
yeah.
event. We have vendors,
Yeah.
cool things, and they've been so great to support
So
everything we're
great.
doing.
And if you can't come in person, you can
Yeah.
shop
Shop online.
online.
Yeah.
They have an app in the App Store, Posh Panache Boutique. Make sure you enter the word AKOS, AKOS, in the code area, and they will be giving us a portion of those proceeds. So please,
Yeah.
please, 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 do the end of the month. You can shop online, but our in-person event is going to be this Thursday, April 24th, from 4
Heck
to
yeah.
7.
Don't forget, this is Autism Awareness Month. We're closing out with a bang. We got a couple really big announcements this week, so stay tuned. So come out, support whatever restaurant we are coming up to, which I got some really good ones coming up, especially Doghouse, some really good ones. So stay tuned. We got some fun announcements with all of that. And if you do want to support, obviously, you can go to our website, acosforautism.org, fully sanctioned 501c3 nonprofit. You feel free to donate, sponsor. All sponsorships and donations go to these kids, their treatments. I mean, it really is an amazing thing that we're doing. And if you ever want to take a look at what we're doing and you're curious about the types of treatments that we're doing, the testings that we're doing to help these kids, please reach out, because honestly, we need as much help as we can get. We want to increase our funding. We want to increase our size. Our goal is to turn this into an actual center, a full-blown daycare center with ABA, speech therapy, occupational therapy, the whole gamut. So really, really big deal. Never been done before. So we're moving in a really amazing direction. So thank you guys for all your support and being there for us. I'm really grateful. Love you guys. We'll catch you guys next Monday, live here every Monday, 9:30, 10 a.m. Catch you guys soon.